with us now Christopher Miller, the former acting Secretary of Defense in the Trump administration. Secretary, good to have you. It looks like we might finish with about 114,000 to 115,000 eventually evacuated out of Afghanistan, but still thousands who, as things stand now, will never be. What do you think of that?
Neil, I fundamentally disagree with the conjecture that, and I want to talk to the people in Afghanistan right now that are listening to this show or watching this show before the Taliban cut down the television feeds, which are going to happen soon. It's part of their playbook. Don't give up hope. There are tons of Americans and international community members that are dedicated to getting you out, and we haven't given up. And although the digital Dunkirk, the aerial evacuation portion is over, we're going to keep working on this. Hey, Neil, I represent Special Operations Association of America, SOAA.org. We got people all over the world right now helping out. I got to tell you, you had your reporter out of Qatar. They've done an unbelievable job. Do you realize that we had an agreement that they were supposed to support 5,000 people? They have 45,000 people on the ground. There are other countries doing the same. So don't give up. We're just getting going, and I know it's very, very dark and desperate times, and it's going to be even more chaotic in the next 24 hours. Our forces there are doing what's called a breakout from encirclement. It's the most complicated and dangerous military operation known. They're going to do it. They're going to do it well, but it's going to get really, really chaotic in the next 24, Neil.
Secretary, do you ever, looking back at the administration which you served, we'll never know how things would have been if President Trump were still in power, but that negotiating with the Taliban was a mistake, that the very things they promised in that agreement they didn't hold to?
That's a very important question, and thanks for asking. And it's one you always struggle with. But when you're winding down wars, particularly insurgencies like we fought for the last 20 years in Afghanistan, ultimately you have to talk to your enemy and your opponent to bring the war to an end. We definitely had a little different plan for going forward. I would like to think, I'm pretty confident we would have avoided this chaotic departure. I'm quite confident of that. However,
how do you know, right? I mean, it's always difficult, Secretary, and I get that, but how do you know? I mean, the fact that the government fell so quickly wasn't even on the horizon in your negotiations with the Taliban, not you particularly, sir, but the administration. And I'm just wondering if that inability to comprehend the magnitude of the government's ability to hold on was something bipartisan in nature, that there was just no way anyone appreciated how quickly this collapse would come.
Neil, completely predictable for those of us that have spent our time on the ground out in the villages and in tribal shures and whatnot. Let me tell you, we took the country down. I was part of that. I was like the 200th person, 200 people from special operations and the intelligence community brought the Taliban regime to an end the first time. I felt very, very confident that the same 200 could have provided support to the Afghan National Security Forces, brought in air support, brought in medical evacuation, brought in logistics support. You know, train how you're going to fight is what we talk about in the military. We train the Afghan National Security Forces, the Afghan Army, to have those sorts of enablers, they're called, that sort of support, and then we pulled it away from them and left them hanging. So of course they're going to go, of course, you know, I'm sitting here fighting, and all the things that you trained me to do and taught me to expect are not there. We could have continued to provide that with a very, very small footprint. That's what we have special operations for. That's what SOAA is all about. And we have great paramilitary officers in our intelligence community. So I fundamentally disagree that this was predictable. This was, or that.
All right,
this
so
was,
that might be the case. There's no denying your own, personal capacity to do just that. But in the prior administration, the idea of getting hostages out of there, and obviously nothing like we're dealing with today, sir, I grant you. It just wasn't there. That wasn't part of the Taliban settlement. Now, maybe it would have been later on had this escalated. We won't know. But I guess when I hear President Trump and others from the administration talk about how differently it would have been handled under them, and I see the negotiations that ultimately were drawn and agreed to, I just wonder, this concern now for the fate of Afghanis, was it there with the former president? when he was signing off on a deal that would eventually wind down our troops months before his successor ever did, and that would have been a very different ending.
Well, special immigrant visa program and our obligations to Afghans were always on our mind. So you're right, ex post facto history can't really predict how that would have happened. We were voted out of office and left the administration on the 20th of January. They had 7 months, so I can't predict that. I just know, look, going forward though, we've got great Americans, great people that are going to keep working on this, and so it's not over yet. I just hope that and thanks for doing this show, because what we really need to do is the American public needs to continue to pay attention to this. I know the Britney Spears legal court drama is important, don't get me wrong, but we can't just shift our attention away like we do so often. And you continuing with your show and keeping this in the keeping this visible is going to be really, really important. And again, Neil, I'm telling you, we've got capability. We can do this. It's dark. It's a kind of a stain on our reputation as Americans, but we can get out of this and we can help those people that we deserve to get our help.
All right, we'll watch it very closely. Secretary, thank you for taking the time. Christopher Miller.